Okay, so let's go over making scatter plots um, on both the Texas Instruments style calculator um, and also the NumWorks style calculator. So the data set that I'm using is this one with Major League Baseball payroll and the number of wins that that payroll is related to. For each, like a few Major League Baseball teams. So this is going to be our X values, and these are the related Y values. So together, these form ordered pairs. Okay. Um, so with the Texas Instruments calculator, what you want to do is you want to go into the list editor and put all of these Major League Baseball payroll numbers in list one and put these in list two. So if we look at the calculator, I went ahead and I did this ahead of time. So you just have to hit the stat button, and under the edit menu, you want to select the edit option. And you can see in list one, I've got the values for salary. And in the second list, I have the values for wins. Now with the NumWorks calculator, what you want to do is you want to go into the regression app. So you can see already it looks like a scatter plot, right? You have your y-axis, your x-axis, and you've got these data points. So the icon itself kind of helps guide you as to which app you should be using. So you go to the regression app, click OK, and it looks like it reset this. So, the X1, Y1, so these are the X values, these are the Y values. So here I would just go ahead and, type in all of the X values, which doesn't take too long. I am feeling a little rushed. That's typically when you make a mistake. Do my best to not make one. So now I'm going to put my related Y values for each of these X values. Okay. So again, we are in the regression app. So it kind of puts it here at the top. And I just put my list of X values and list of Y values in both of these calculators. All right, now to graph them on the Texas Instruments, we need to go into the stat plots function in order to plot statistical themes. Okay, now we went into this already when we did box plots, but let's kind of refresh our memories and do scatter plots. So you can see stat plot is in blue right here above the upper leftmost button, which says y equals. So since stat plot is in blue, then you can hit the blue second button first, and then this y equals button second. And there's three different plots you can have going on at any one or all together. You can have them all turned on. As you can see, all of mine are turned off. So what I would suggest that you do is make sure that you turn all of these off. Because if you had one on that was a box plot, and then you had another one on that was a scatter plot, and you go to plot them, it's going to screw up your plot. Okay, you're not going to be able to see it clearly. So make sure that all these are off. So the easiest way to just turn them all off, is just to click plots off, hit enter again, and now it's done. Okay. And so let's go into plot number one. So we'll click enter. And since this one's off originally, let's turn it on. So right now the cursor is on. So I'll hit enter. And then next under type, okay, there's all these different types. So here you can see the two box plot types. Here's the histogram type. This is kind of a connect the dots type. And then here we've got a scatter plot. So you can very see this icon looks very much like a scatter plot. So I'm going to put my flashing cursor on that and hit enter. And now it's changed these inputs based off of this graphing type. So now it wants my list of X values. So my list of X values were in list one. Now it already has list one there, but let's pretend that yours did not say list one. How do you put list one? So you can see L1 is in blue right above the number one key. So because it's in blue, we can use this blue second button in conjunction with the one key, and it'll print an L1 there. Okay. Then we can go to the Y list, and then that was in list two. Okay, now these are the symbols that it'll use for each point in the scatter plot. And then this is the color that you want to use. So, at this point, okay, so at this point, what you want to do is hit, let's see here, you want to hit zoom. So the zoom button, it's the middle button on the top row. Go down to zoom stat, which is number 9, hit enter, and there's your scatter plot. So it would be nice, let's see if we could see a little bit more. So I'm trying to remember how I turned those things on. Let's see, I don't know, is there zoom settings? Let's see here. Oh, okay. Let's go to mode. Let me check something. Trying to remember, there was somewhere where there was a setting. Okay, that wasn't there. See here, let me try format. Here we go. So if you hit the blue second button and the zoom button, it goes into format. And let's see here, coordinates on, grid. Okay, we'll leave off, grid color, axes and black. Okay, let's turn labels on. Let's see what that does. Border color, background off. Okay, let's see what that does. So let me go back to zoom. Zoom stats. Okay, so all it did was label this axis X and this axis Y. And if you wanted to kind of go from one point to the next to see what ordered pair it was, you can hit the trace button. And you can see right now, this is the currently selected point, the currently selected ordered pair, and that's the point 20989. And what we're looking at plot one, which is composed of list one and list two. And we can hit the left and right arrow key to scroll to each of the different points, and it gives us the ordered pair down below. Okay, so that's how we do it on the Texas Instruments calculator. Now on the NumWorks calculator, we're still in the regression app. All you need to do is go over to the Graph tab and click OK. Okay, so here's our scatter plot. Now we can, let's see here. If we hit left and right, you can see we can select each of the different data points. Okay, And it gives us the X and Y of that currently selected data point. So it gives us the ordered pair. Um, but you'll notice that, let's see here. It looks like actually a point is not, is it showing? Oh, it's showing. Okay. So, all these data points are kind of filling everything, but it would be nice if we could kind of get this centered a little bit better. Um, so let's see, I think I gave some parameters here. So yeah, let's change the values on the x-axis to be 0 to 220 and on the y-axis to be 0 and 110. So how do we do that? Um, so what we do is we can go to the axes. So if you select up, come over to axes and click OK. Okay, now we can go over to the values of the x-axis and click OK and say we want that to go from 0 to 220 and confirm that. And now we can make the y-axis to go from 0 to 110. Hit confirm. All right, and you can see it rescaled the x and the y-axes. And one of the things that I like about the NumWorks calculator here is that it does label, the axes a little bit, both horizontal and vertical, whereas the Texas Instruments doesn't seem to do that here. Now, if we wanted to do something similar on the Texas Instruments, we can do it. So if we go to the window button, switch here. If we go to the window button, that's this button in the upper left-hand corner, I can change the X minimum and the X maximum. So I can change the minimum to 0 and the maximum to 220. And then the Y minimum, I can set that to 0 and the Y maximum to 110, like that. And I think if I go back to graph, okay, then it sets up the X and Y axis with those minimums and maximums that I just set up. And you can see how similar it looks to the NumWorks calculator here. All right. Let's see, what else? So you have to be careful in the Texas Instruments. If we had gone to Window and just absent-mindedly didn't click graph, if we went to Window and then we hit Zoom and went down to Zoom Stat and did that, well, Zoom Stat, it sets the X and Y axis limits. So you would have kind of undone what you tried to do. Okay, so if you come over here again to the window button, you can change the minimum and maximum for the X-axis window and the minimum and maximum for the Y-axis window. And now at this point, just hit graph. And there you go. And trace still works. Okay. All right. Let me see here. I think that's pretty much going to be it for using both calculators here. This think, pair, share, is just practice at entering it in and using your calculator. This is what it should look like. And setting the X and Y values. Oh yeah, last thing. This pertains only to Texas Instruments calculators. You're going to want to turn on uh, the statistics diagnostics. Okay. And the easiest way to do it is to do it through the mode. So let's go over here. So if you go to mode, you want to go down to stat diagnostics. Okay, mine's turned off. You want to make sure you turn it on. If you don't do this, you're going to be missing an important value very soon. Okay. It's called the correlation coefficient. And so without this turned on, you won't see the correlation coefficient when it's calculated on your calculator. So you need to turn stat diagnostics on. Okay. So I'll hit quit. On the NumWorks calculator, you don't have to worry about it. You can actually see it's got the correlation coefficient already printed down here in the lower right-hand corner. Okay, so that does it for this video. Let me know if you have any questions.